As OTAs are wrapping up for your Baltimore Ravens, we have our list of final takeaways that you need to know with the latest out of Baltimore. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Ravens Rundown. Before we go any further with today's show, I want to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and you help us out in our June month-long sub-battle with the Browns Report. And we began this a couple days ago. Browns off to a bit of a head start. They're about 15 subs. We're at 10. Still got some time to play some catch-up. I want the lead before our next video. Can we make it happen? We want to show why we have the best fans, not just in the AFC North, but across the National Football League. Stick it to that fake dog pound hater, Mr. Matthew Peterson. He hates puppies. He's not a real dog pound guy. Subscribe to the channel now. Show some love. YouTube.com/RavensTV, and we'll get started with today's show. Let's begin with Lamar Jackson. He made his return to OTAs after skipping out on a couple of the workouts, and I'm sure you probably heard about it. And in his return, Lamar was on point and looked Lamarvelous, if you would say. Look, the thing with all this, with Lamar missing OTAs, I said it before, and I'll say it again, it wasn't that big of a deal. Lamar is somebody that has won 2 MVPs. He knows this system. Even when he was not at OTAs, he was still working out with Lamar Jackson and all that, but people love to make a big deal out of everything, right? Here's how he looked according to Nelson Aguilar. Nelson saying the following: I mean, Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. He does an amazing job of just kind of going through his progression. He has unreal arm angles, but he also just knows how to see everything the way he needs to see it in the game and when the defense is giving you something. I was never worried about Lamar's absence and not being there. It wasn't that big of a deal. What I was concerned about is Lamar potentially losing out on some money. All about the Benjamins, right? Make it rain. You guys know about making it rain in Baltimore. The issue is him potentially losing out on $750,000 for missing out on OTAs, as that was in his contract that he needed to be there to get that $750,000 workout bonus. So I hope he didn't lose out on it. It sounds like that he did. Obviously, he doesn't have an agent, so that may have been something that got overlooked, if you will. But nonetheless, he's back. He's looking good. Lamar's doing his thing. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose 2 more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, home runs in baseball, all sorts of different categories to choose from for your liking. We're looking ahead to the start of the NFL season. Got our Lamarvelous quarterback to go with more than 3,600.5 passing yards. Also going with DK Metcalf to have more than 1,025.5 receiving yards. If we put $20 down, both those hit, turns into $60 on Prize Picks. Play along with me, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS for a $100 deposit match on your first deposit. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Let's go to second-year player Trenton Simpson, who is turning heads over the last couple of weeks with how he has performed and looked the part as he's competing to become the starting linebacker next to Roquan Smith in the Ravens defense. And Simpson, talking this week, said that he feels like he's prepared to take on this opportunity to step in right away and win this job and be the starter and be ready to go. Here you can see him in practice there this week. Simpson saying the following on OTAs: my opportunity is here, and these don't come around too often. So I just have to make the most of it from when we started back and getting going with the OTAs to now, just taking it every day at a time. And then by the time we're ready to roll for game 1, I'll be ready. And to his credit, he's come a long way. This is somebody that in 2023 looked like a deer in headlights, right? And then we started to see him turn a corner when he got to start that Week 18 game against the Pittsburgh Steelers and played really well in that game. And now, fast forward to the workouts of the offseason program, embracing the opportunity to replace Patrick Queen. He's done a good job. He's capitalizing on it, and I don't see any reason why he won't win the starting job when it's all said and done. What do you guys think? Will Trenton Simpson start Week 1 at linebacker for the Ravens. You got two options here. You can either type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. It's up to you. Let us know in the comments section below. Let's talk about a rookie, Devontez Walker, the wide receiver, 4th-round selection out of North Carolina. We've spent a decent amount of time over the last couple of weeks talking about Devontez Walker, and he has continued to shine throughout OTAs over the last couple of days as he competes on this Ravens roster for significant playing time. We already know that the Ravens are going to be going with Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman as their top 2 receivers, but beyond that, it's an open competition. Devontez Walker competing with the likes of Nelson Aguilar and Hardy and a couple others there, and so far he's making his mark early in his Ravens tenure. Listen to this from The Athletic. Rookie 4th-round receiver Devontez Walker had a nice afternoon and has come on in recent weeks. On Tuesday, he made a nice catch on a Josh Johnson throw in the corner of the end zone. He then caught a deep ball down the far sideline and did extremely well to get both feet in bounds. We'll learn a lot more about Walker when the pads come on and the competition picks up. But at 6'1", 191 pounds, he certainly looks like a promising player who will help diversify the receiving core. I like everything I've heard and seen from Walker at OTAs to this point. Don't sleep on the ability of him to get playing time right away. I think there's a chance we are talking about Devontez Walker potentially earning that number 3 receiving spot. I think the edge, the front runner is Nelson Aguilar, and rightfully so for that spot right now. But we very well could see Tez work his way up to that number 3 receiver role. I don't think that's impossible. Who is a winner from Ravens OTAs? We've gone over a couple names that have stood out so far to us. What do you guys think? Weigh in the comments section and let us know. Give us a winner from OTAs to this point. Next up, let's go to the offensive line, and that is where we find Daniel Faalele. And the struggles are continuing for Daniel as it's been kind of a rough go at it, if you will, over the last couple of weeks. And pressure's on Daniel, right, to try to compete and win that starting right tackle job. He's the veteran, but the Ravens did draft Roger Rosengarten out of Washington, and Rosengarten, the heavy favorite to earn that job, right? But he still has to take it, right? He still has to beat Daniel out for this position. And according to The Athletic, this was pretty disappointing to learn when it comes to Falele and this competition as far as his efforts go. Listen to this. Tuesday's practice was a struggle for the third-year pro. Falele struggled with the heat. Temperatures flirted with the mid-80s throughout practice, going to one knee on several occasions and getting attention from the Ravens athletic training staff. Falele ultimately exited practice early. Listen, there's no excuse for this. None. Mid-80s in Baltimore. I mean, what's he going to do when the Ravens play week 1 in Kansas City in early September when it very well could be close to 100 degrees? I mean, like, this is just unacceptable. This is just disgusting behavior. He's a 380-pound human being. He's from Australia. He's dealt with heat before. How does this happen? This, to me, does not add up. This, to me, shows a lack of effort, a just disappointment, to say the least. Congrats to Roger Rosengarten. You are the starting right tackle for the Baltimore Ravens. I've seen enough. What's your confidence level in the Ravens offensive line right now? Scale it for me 1 through 10 in the comments section. Let us know what you think. Last on our takeaways, we go to another rookie, this time Nate Wiggins, the first-round pick out of Clemson. And with Nate Wiggins, he was great at Clemson, right? And even though he wasn't the biggest guy, at 6'1", 185 pounds, a little lean. But one of the things that we've seen from Nate Wiggins already since he arrived in Baltimore is bulking up, changing up his body a bit as he prepares to take on the size and athleticism of these bigger players in the National Football League. And already going through this change, if you will, we haven't seen the actual measurements of what it is, but this is something that he is already putting the work in, and it's noticing by guys on the football field. Listen to this from Trenton Simpson, what he had to say. He's definitely gained a little weight. Nobody is going to run past him. So whatever the nutrition staff and the coaches feel is best for him, and I'm excited for him, but I know nobody is running past Nate Wiggins. Simpson said, yes, I know that for a fact. So you think about this. He played in college at 183 and was extremely effective. This is only going to help. And the Ravens, we heard from their staff say that they're not concerned about him going through this of putting on more weight, that they feel pretty enthused, actually, about this, the direction he's going there. Thanks for joining us here in this edition of Ravens Rundown. Continuing coverage each and every day on the channel. Subscribe now for free, and we'll see you next time.